paper question, okay, and that is based on the chapter we covered, and that is cost, revenue, and break-even analysis, right? Okay, now let me read the information which is given at the start. John worked as a chef in a fast food restaurant for 20 years. He decided to open his own restaurant. As soon as John set up the restaurant, it soon became very popular, and people used to came from far off places as well. One of the customers said, "The food served is always fresh and tasty." It was often full even during weekdays as well. After such an overwhelming response, John is planning to expand, but also thinking about the benefits and drawbacks of handling a large business. Someone suggested John to have a break-even analysis before taking a decision. Now, let me tell you, this is not a past paper question, but this is similar to a past paper question. And I actually created that situation. Okay, this situation, business situation, was created by me. Okay, and now you will be using that to answer the questions. All right, now let's talk about the first question which is there. Define safety margin. Now, if you now how to handle this question, because before you attempt a question, you need to understand what is the assessment objective in this question. Before knowing it, sorry, without knowing it, you cannot attempt that question and able to gain maximum marks. So 2 marks question, and the question starts with the command word define. Let me bold it, define. So it means whenever the question starts with the command word define, it requires only knowledge. That's it. So you have only one assessment objective, that is knowledge. That's it. So you just have to define that. So now if we define this term, safety margin, so what to write? Let me write it for you so that, or you, if you want to contribute, you can. Zainab and Manha, do you want to say something? No? All right. Okay. So safety margin, what is it? Let me write it. Uh, it is calculated by finding the difference between the current level of output, and the break-even level of output. Break-even level of output. Now, this you can get full marks for that as well, but you can define it as well. So I just wrote actually the formula, na? So even formula is enough to show to get maximum marks, right? Okay, just a minute. Let me just correct it because it is not in the right order. All right. So now I can add it as well now because I have not actually given the definition, right? But still, because it requires knowledge, simple as that. So you have shown knowledge about that term. So that's why you will be able to get 2 marks for that. Because generally the idea is that okay, sir, you haven't defined it, so how can you get 2 marks? No, you can. Why? Because I told you the question starts from the command word define. Um, can you hear me, Manha and Zainab?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so you can get 2 marks for that as well, but it is better to give the definition first and then add the marks. So now let me just
Sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, all right. Because now there is a power failure and my UPS is not working, but I am using my mobile data. So I think maybe you are not able to see the screen. Is it the case?
Sir, I can see the screen.
Me too.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. The screen might not be live, but okay, let me just connect my laptop with my mobile data as well, mobile network. Just a minute. Because actually I'm using both the devices. Na? I'm using my mobile as well to talk, and to show the screen I'm using my laptop. Let me see. Stop. Okay, so recording is going on. All right. Um, all right. So now let's talk about this. So now, what can we write as far as the definition is concerned? We'll say it shows how much sales a business can lose without suffering loss. Right? Now, let me explain you that as well, what I actually wrote. That safety margin basically tells you how safe you are from the loss. For example, your break even is 1000 units. Okay? And right now, you are producing 1200 units. So, what is the difference, Manha?
Sir, 200.
200. 200 is your safety margin. Now, what does it mean? It means even if sales go down further by 200 units, still business will not suffer loss. Do you know why, Mana?
Yes, sir, because that would be kind of our break-even point.
Absolutely, because business will be reaching at 1000 units from 1200. So still there is no loss. Yes, if now output falls below 1000, now loss will start. So safety margin basically tells you how much margin, how much gap you have. Even if your sales are falling, you feel comfortable. Okay, still we are earning profit. Although our profit might be going down, but still we are at a profit. Okay, so that is a safety margin, right? And I actually mentioned the formula as well, and I actually wrote a brief definition of that term as well. It shows how much sales a business can lose without suffering loss. So, any question regarding that,
No, sir.
Zainab? No. Okay.
No,
All
sir.
right. So, okay. All right. Good. So it's clear. So here I will be getting 2 marks for the knowledge, right? I can write it there. Two for 2K. Okay. And 2K means that I am able to gain 2 marks for the knowledge. And it's extremely important to know that how many max marks are there for uh, which type of assessment objective. So here assessment objective was only knowledge, so we achieved that successfully. Now moving onwards to the next question, that is identify any two limitations of using break-even chart. Now you can see the command word is identify, right? This is the command word. Again, whenever you see a question which starts from the command word identify, it only requires knowledge. That's it. Okay, but now you do not need to define anything, right? Because there are many ways to show knowledge. If the command word identify is there, you just have to mention 2 words or maybe 2 lines. That's it, without explanation. Without explanation, because explanation is required in a question when analysis is required, because this is another assessment objective. Right now, the assessment objective is knowledge only. So we will be mentioning that. Okay. So two limitations of using break-even chart. Let me write it as well, because you might not be knowing it because we studied that way back. I know that. So I give you the margin. All right. So if I write two limitations, first of all, I'll write the first one, because in such type of question they will mention limitation 1, limitation 2, right? So let me write limitation 1. Okay, so this is the way they will provide you the space. Okay, so you write, for example, uh, total cost curve and total revenue curve, total total cost curve and total revenue curve are straight lines, are shown as straight lines, but in reality it's not the case. But in reality it is not the case, right? And I told you earlier, because you know that we are using the word curve, but they are not the curves. No? While drawing a break-even chart, we always draw straight lines. So that is the problem in this question. Now, we do not need to say anything else because we were required to demonstrate knowledge only. But I'll show you because you might not be remembering that. So let me just show it to you. Let me, okay, paint. So I told you earlier that normally if this is the break-even chart, so the normally this is total cost curve and this is total revenue curve and this is total cost curve, right? This is total revenue curve. This is revenue and this is total cost curve. Okay, but in reality this is not the case. Total revenue curve and total cost curve are like that. Let me just write it this way. This is total cost curve. Now it looks like a curve, no? And total revenue curve is like this. Now both look like curves, okay? But here we are not supposed to explain that why it is so, right? Because the question is about identify, and I'm telling you they even do not talk about it in O levels. So that's why I wrote what total cost curve and total revenue curve are shown as straight lines, but in reality it is not the case. We are done with this first limitation. Now if we talk about the second limitation, and I will write limitation 2. Okay, so the second limitation could be all goods are not sold. All goods are not sold. Some goods are kept as inventory. Okay, like in break-even analysis, we assume that whatever is produced is sold in the market, and this is not the case because you study accounting as well. So it means that there are some unsold goods as well, right? So all businesses cannot claim that whatever they produce, they are able to sell it in the same year. So some unsold goods, they are kept by the business for the next year because they are unsold, and they are able to sell it next year. Okay, and that is why I am using the word inventory. Inventory means stock, the items which are lying there with you, and still you are not able to sell them. So inventory can be, I know that inventory can be in the form of raw material as well, but it can be in the form of finished goods as well. The goods are complete in all respects, but you are not able to sell. There are not enough customers there. So this is also a limitation there, that in break-even analysis it is assumed that all goods are sold. Okay, so again we are done with this limitation as well, and we do not need to explain that because there are only marks for knowledge there. So I can write 2K. We are able to achieve 2 marks for knowledge here as well. Any question from your side? Then and Manha?
No, sir, no question.
All right. Okay. Good. So, or we can add here as well that in break analysis, it is assumed condition so you can write it this way. Okay, then we have the third question. Okay, right now you know that we have not made use of the information which is given above. Do you know why? Why we have not used the information which is given at the top of the question? Anybody? Zainab Manha.
So can you
Any
please
idea?
ask again?
All right. My question is, I'm saying that we have completed two parts, A and B. But in part in which is the question. Um, just say something, na? Yes.
Sir, your voice is breaking a lot.
All right. Okay. Just hold on. Let me switch because now light is back. So let me switch to the regular network which just a minute. Okay. Now is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it now? Oh, okay. 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 I repeat my question. My question is that we have actually done two parts of the question, right? My question is there is an information which is given at the start of the question. We have not used it up till now. What is the reason? That is my question.
Sir, the reason why we don't use the information that is given above is because they only ask us to identify and define, and those are only 2 mark questions, and they do not require any type of linking between the case study and the given question.
Right. Because in neither of the there was no such objective like application. Because when in a question there is an assessment objective that is application. Yes, Zainab?
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही
नहीं आ रही अच्छा एक मिनट आई थिंक देयर इज एन इशू Okay, I hope that now the problem is not there any longer. Is my voice clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So I am back to my home network. Just a minute. I know today the class was not that smooth now because you know that there were some issues, the power failure, and then maybe there was a problem with the internet as well. All right. So yes, you answered it correctly. That right now there was no subject, no such assessment objective, which we call application in any of the questions. So that's why we have not used the information which is there in the question or that is given at the start of the question. All right. So let's move on to the next question. And what is it? Let's see. Identify and explain. Now, here the word identify and explain is there. Okay. But now because the pattern is not the same as far as the latest papers are concerned. So they have just tweaked it slightly. Okay. Now they are using another command word instead of this. Okay. Let me write it there. Because both look the same. That's why the students they get confused as well. You can see in B part again identify and explain, right? And in C part again there is identify and explain. But this is of 4 marks, this is of 6 marks. So that is why they have now changed it. And let me use the command word which is being used these days. So when you will be having your CI exam, you will be finding that, and that is outline.
Sir, I
Okay.
can't see the screen.
All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay, okay. Sorry, I didn't share. All right. So now the screen is in front of you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now see the C part. So it is outline two benefits of using break-even charts to join. Okay. Now there are 4 marks. So how marks are distributed, and what are the assessment objectives which are there in this question? There are 2 marks for whenever you see the command word outline at the start of the question. Remember, and the question is usually of 4 marks. So there are 2 marks for knowledge and there are 2 marks for application. Now, what does it mean? It means you do not need to explain your point much. Now, let's see how you can do it. So we'll be writing outline. It's written so two benefits. So in the paper they will mention benefit one. Okay, this way, and you will write the advantage of using break-even chart. So let me write. Uh, John will be able to know uh, what profit is there at each level of output. You know that this is actually the advantage of break-even chart, that you can find out the profit at any level of output. So let me write any at any level of output. And why it is so, let me show it to you as well. Like for example, if this is the break-even, this is the total revenue curve, this is the total cost curve, this is a total revenue, this is total cost, right? And this is the break-even, you know that. This is the break-even level. Now, if you want to see your profit level at this level, you can see it. Okay, just drag it upwards, and this will be your profit level, because that is the difference between total revenue minus total cost. Simple as that, right? Similarly, if you want to see at this level, you can see, you can just drag it upwards, and you can see this is total revenue, this is total cost, and the difference which is there, that is profit. So it means when you draw a break-even chart, you can find out the profit at any level of output. Okay, Zainab and Manha, got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Now, so we have, so John will be able to know what profit is there at any level of output. Now, you can get 1 mark for the knowledge. Now, how to get the next mark? And that is for application. It means you need to refer it to the information. Now you can see it's a fast food restaurant for 20 years. Okay. Now let me use it, and food, and I talked about the food as well. Okay. Now let's say if I write here, this is the knowledge part, then they might give you some more space as well. I'm writing it there. Uh, yes, there. Now I'll write break-even chart will guide John to produce how many, let's say, pizzas, how many pizzas to achieve the break-even, or to, how many pizzas to obtain a certain level of a certain level of profit. Like whatever profit John wants to earn, they can see that to earn that profit, how much pizzas to be produced and served as well. You know that. Okay. Now there is no explanation actually. You can see that there is no explanation. Okay. But what I have done, I have actually used the information from the case as well. Okay. Otherwise, the explanation could have been that when John will be producing more food items, John will be knowing what amount of cost is involved, what amount of revenue they are earning, and then when revenue and cost is compared, John will be able to know what amount of profit is being earned. So you do not need to write that detail as well. Reason? Do you know what is the reason? Anyone?
Yes, sir, because our question only demands us to just define the benefit and apply the case study upon it.
Absolutely, very good. Yes. So that is why we have we have got 1 mark here for the knowledge there. Okay, and we have got one more mark here for the application, right? So this is how we achieved 2 marks, one for the knowledge and one for the application. And where is that application in this sentence? Where is that application?
Sir, you have mentioned pizzas.
Very good. Yes, pizza. Now remember, okay, pizza. This word is not mentioned in this information, right? So application is not all about just copying a word from somewhere and pasting it in your answer. No. If it is in context, still it can be called an application because fast food restaurant may serve pizza as well because pizza is a fast food. So that's why, despite the fact pizza has not been used in this information, still you can use that to get marks for application, right? Okay. Similarly, if I talk about now benefit number two, okay, benefit two. So now, what could be the other benefit of using break-even chart? Again, uh, safety margin. Sorry, safety margin can be made known. You can come to know what is your safety margin, and we covered that as well in the first part of the question. Safety margin can be made known, so you will get marks for the knowledge here. Now, to get you need to get marks for application also. So now I'll write. Can you just tell me? You tell me how to get marks, another mark for the application. This is the information. Give it a try. Give it a try. I I wrote safety margin can be made known. Now, can you just tell me what to write? Or if you can't, no problem because this is the first time, huh? So you can just tell me straight away. I can do it for you. Yes? Any ideas, Zainab? Or you're still thinking?
Sir, I'm thinking.
You are okay, you are thinking. And Manha, you?
Same goes for me, sir.
Alright, okay, fine. So now what you have to do, but I'm doing a very small task, okay? Because we'll be continuing from the same point where we are now about to leave, okay? And we'll be covering the rest of the question as well. What you have to do is, you will be finding, you can take a picture if you want to. Let me, just a minute. You can take a picture of this, okay? Limitation 1, and let me just a minute. Yes. Now, yes, you can take a picture of this, and then you need to come up with an application point for limitation 2 in the next class. Okay, take a picture so that the information should be in front of you as well, and do that task, and we'll meet again tomorrow, right? I will share the link and the timings as well in the group. So that is all. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Good Hafiz.
Love.
Good Hafiz.